If you have been set up as a dispatcher in your transport organization, you will see multiple options under the transportation menu item. Under My Drivers, you can add or remove drivers from your organization. Note that in order to set up a driver, an administrator within your organization must first create a user account for the driver. Conveyances can be set up so that drivers do not have to manually enter the majority of their humane transport record details during loading and unloading. You will need to enter some basic conveyance information and can then enter detailed information such as compartments and maintenance events. Under My Vehicles, you can enter truck or tractor information as well. Once drivers, conveyances, and vehicles have been entered, you can now link them together using My Conveyance configurations. Doing so will allow you to easily select pre-configured conveyance details for a driver later on, when it comes time to assign drivers to movements. Note that a single driver can be linked to multiple configurations. When shippers create a movement record and enter your organization as the transporter, users in your organization's dispatch role will be notified via email and dashboard notifications, as well as text message, if you have set up your SMS details under My Settings. Movements that require dispatch will be displayed on the Action Needed tab of your dashboard. Clicking on a movement record will open it and allow you to complete the required action. You will be presented with an overview of the movement record, where you can see summary information. If the origin or destination locations have been entered, you can view them on a map. If a movement was sent to you in error, you can send it back to the shipper using the Send Back button. Doing so will notify the shipper that you have sent the movement back to them, and it will no longer be visible on your dashboard. Clicking Next will allow you to select a driver. If a driver is associated with one or more conveyance configurations, you can select one of them from the drop-down list. If a driver is not associated to any conveyance configurations, you will need to enter the conveyance information manually. Note that drivers can update conveyance information later on when they complete the loading action. Shipper information will be pre-populated and will be part of your humane transport record. This information can be updated at this point if required and only affects your humane transport record. The receiver information will also be pre-populated and can be updated in the same manner as shipper information if required. Moving on to animal information, you will see animal details entered by the shipper, which you can adjust. You will need to enter an approximate total weight for each line item. Approximate weight can be updated later by the driver during the loading action. This information only affects your humane transport record and does not affect the original manifest information entered by the shipper. Before submitting, a hauling charge can be added, which will be displayed on the manifest and transfer of care documents, along with any notes that you want to provide for the driver. When submitted, the shipper and driver will be notified that a driver has been assigned to this movement. The assigned movement can be accessed from the Submitted tab on your dashboard. Clicking on it will open the movement record. If the driver has not yet completed the loading action, you can press the Make Changes button to make changes and reassign drivers as needed. The appropriate parties will be notified of the changes. As drivers complete their loading and unloading actions, your organization's dispatchers, along with other parties in the movement, will be notified. To see the status and history of a movement, simply click the Movement Overview button from your dashboard or from the My Movement screen. The Movement Overview screen allows you to regenerate manifest and transfer of care documents, as well as view and print humane transport records for a movement. You can also review the entire timeline of a movement and answer questions that you may receive from your customers. If the shipper that you are transporting livestock for is not registered with MyLivestock, you can use the Record New HTR action from your dashboard to start a new movement record that can be used to enter humane transport details. You will follow a similar process as with movements sent to your organization by a shipper. Note that some information will not be pre-populated in the same manner as movements sent by a shipper. Movements created in this manner will be available in the Submitted tab on your dashboard, as well as the My Movement screen, the same as other movement records. You are now ready to use MyLivestock.